Silver Hollow Road, between Lane Road and Cross Path Road. Repeat, 211 Silver Hollow Road, between Lane Road and Cross.
Good evening, ma'am. I'm Officer Warren. I understand you were found unconscious on Route 37, is that correct?
Yes. Officer, if I may ask, why am I here? I didn't do anything wrong, I swear.
Relax, ma'am. You're not in any trouble. I just need to ask you a few questions.
About what?
About last night. You were witness to a rather gruesome series of murders. 3 journalists are dead.
Yes.
I understand this is a traumatizing experience for you. Unfortunately for us, we need every possible witness account. Try to recall as many specific details as possible, even if they seem inconsequential.
I understand.
Are you ready to begin?
Yes.
Why were you in Whiteland Woods that night?
Are you familiar with the Rose Hill legend?
The ghost story?
Yes, the ghost story. Are you familiar with it?
Something about a vampire girl spooking hikers in the 1800s. What about it?
I'm a journalist. I've been studying strange occurrences in the Whiteland Woods for years. Mind you, I don't believe in ghosts. But I knew something strange was happening out there. So I went to investigate.
You weren't alone.
No, my coworkers were with me. Our editor, Tom, my friend Liz, the photographer, and her sister Audrey, and Becca, our historian.
Were they all aware you intended to chase after a ghost story that night?
They knew. And we didn't think we were chasing after a ghost story. We didn't know exactly what we were going to find. That's why we went. The mystery was too intriguing to resist. It started out just fine. Our destination was about 7 miles down the trail, out past the wetlands. Becca was anxious. She's out of her element when she's not in some dusty library, but we all promised her she'd be safe with us. It wasn't until we were about 4 miles in that...
Miss? Did something go wrong?
No, not exactly. Things just got strange. We'd set our stuff down to camp for the night, but something wasn't right. We thought we were being followed.
By who?
We didn't know. We didn't see them. Not the first time, at least.
Could you describe this person?
We weren't entirely sure it was a person. Tom volunteered to go look around. I'll be damned if anyone was brave enough to go with him. He said he thought there might have been some kind of animal roaming around. Something bigger. A fox or a cougar, maybe.
Did you believe him?
No, none of us did. But we didn't want to argue. God forbid it be something else.
Like a ghost. Did you see this animal again?
I don't know. I stayed in the tent the whole night. But I did see some shapes moving around outside a few times. Big shapes. I thought I dreamt it.
What convinced you you hadn't?
The next morning, all of our supplies were stolen.
Stolen? You're sure?
Everything. Everything except our backpacks, our flashlights, our extra food, gone. We didn't understand. Our phones and money were in our bags, but whoever it was didn't take anything important. It was almost like they were trying to scare us, and They succeeded at that.
But you didn't turn back. Why?
Officer, how far would you go to find the truth to a question that you'd been asking your whole career? When the truth was that close in front of you, would you turn back?
You're not asking the questions here, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. We were scared. But then we knew there was something happening in the Whiteland Woods. And whoever stole our stuff didn't want for us to figure it out. Maybe the Rose Hill legend wasn't just a legend. So we stayed.
Approximately how long after did the first group member disappear?
6 hours. Becca went off to the creek to refill her water bottle later that day. It had been about an hour before we realized she still hadn't come back. Tom went looking for her and came back with her backpack. He found it by the trail, he said. No sign of Becca anywhere.
You're sure this wasn't just an animal, like what you saw earlier?
No, it wasn't an animal. We were sure of it then.
How?
His backpack was marked. Someone or something had written on it in blood.
Are you sure this wasn't just a freak accident? It couldn't have been, I don't know, Shane's blood?
I don't know whose blood it was, and it didn't matter. It wasn't a freak accident. It was writing. Whoever did it, they wanted us to see it.
Could you describe it?
It was like a symbol. Here.
What happened after you saw this?
All hell broke loose. Everything was a blur. We panicked. Thought we heard Becca screaming somewhere off in the woods, and we all took off in different directions. It's strange. I remember running through the woods trying to find Becca. But at a certain point, it became clear to me that none of us were chasing after her. No, something was chasing us.
You killed it. Whatever it was.
Barely. I got lucky.
Did you find anyone else?
I never saw them again. I was the only survivor that night.
And how did you end up passed out on Route 37?
I was looking for help. My supplies were gone. I was alone. Must have blacked from exhaustion. That's it. That's all I have to say. That's the truth.
Your account is much appreciated, ma'am. But that's not it, is it?
What do you mean? I answered all your questions. Do you not believe me?
Well, that's the thing. You said you told me the truth. You haven't told me the truth. Not yet, at least.
What could you possibly...
I'm not implying anything, ma'am. I'm saying you're not the only survivor from that night. We found your colleague Elizabeth Green about 30 minutes before we found you. She was in a cave, banged up and scared as hell, but she was alive. And she has a very different story to tell. But you knew that already, didn't you? She said you were overbearing, engrossed in the Rose Hill legend to the point of obsession, that you all but forced everyone to come with you. It's odd you described those strange claw marks showing up around your campsite at night, because according to Miss Green, you were a bit of a wanderer yourself. In fact, Miss Green claims you would regularly disappear into the woods for long stretches of time that night to go ghost hunting, I would imagine. With all these night trips, you didn't happen to catch a glimpse of the punks who vandalized your camp, did you?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Not ringing any bells? Let's talk about Becca. Green seemed to think you were afraid Becca would get hurt by whatever animal was stalking you the night before, so you insisted you go with her. It's too bad neither of you seem to know what happened to Becca, but Green was pretty confident about where you were when the backpack was found. I think we both know how to connect the dots from here. You know what happens now, don't you? I'm placing you under the arrest for the murder of Tom Hildebrand, Becca Lee, and Audrey Green. You have the right to remain silent.